There are two types of Sonic fans in this world. People who understand that Sonic Unleashed is an unpolished masterpiece, and cowards. Sonic, what are you doing? And if you're one of those people who still whines about the Werehog, then I have some bad news for you. You just don't understand. I sure as hell don't. What just happened there? Released in 2008, this was the game meant to save Sonic after 06 nuked his reputation so hard that even Shadow was like, no! Sega knew they had to get it together, and so they did the only logical thing. They made a game with the fastest, most exhilarating Sonic gameplay ever created, and then forced you to play this for half the experience. And I am totally okay with it. This game may be a mixed bag to some people, but to me, this game is extremely special. Not that kind of special Sonic. First, let's talk about daytime Sonic. This is peak Sonic. This is Sonic distilled into its purest form. You boot up a stage, hit that boost button, and suddenly you are speed. Buildings bore past, ramps launch you into the stratosphere, oh god. And for a few glorious minutes, you forget every bad decision Sonic Team has ever made. The boost mechanic taken from Sonic Rush turns Sonic into an unstoppable force of nature. Enemies, gone. Obstacles, laughable. Loops, you don't even see them. You just become them. It's like someone at Sonic Team finally looked at all those platforming sections in past 3D Sonic games and said, wait, what if Sonic was really fast? And they nailed it. The levels are incredible. The set pieces, absolutely mind-blowing. You see that clock tower and rooftop run, that is an out-of-body experience. And these stages aren't just good. They are some of the best levels in Sonic history. If the entire game had just been this, Unleashed would be a cult classic masterpiece. But then Sonic Team did the most Sonic Team thing imaginable. At some point in development, a Sega executive must have looked at the game and said, wait, we can't just make a masterpiece. We must make him stretchy. Now, the Werehog isn't a bad idea. I love this section of the game, but to many others, it does go against everything the daytime stages stood for. You go from blazing through cities at 500 miles per hour to slowly punching the same 3 goblins for 15 minutes while Sonic screams like a dying cat. And the platforming? Oh, you thought this game would have momentum-based platforming? No. Instead, we get slow, awkward manual ledge grabbing, because nothing says Sonic the Hedgehog like painfully shimmying across ledges at the speed of sadness. But that's perfectly okay, because I find that the platform in this game does hold some good meat. It's nothing revolutionary, but it does satisfy the itch for me, which I'd hope that's the case in a platformer. Also, the Werehog has experience points. You have to level up Sonic, but not fast Sonic. No. Well, you can level up fast Sonic, but no, because someone at Sonic Team played God of War for 20 minutes and said, yeah, but what if we made this, but even worse? But it doesn't stop there, no, because Sonic Team in their infinite wisdom forced you to play these sections to progress. That's right, you can't just skip the Werehog, folks. If you want to experience the god tier daytime levels, you have to slog through hours of But those were my thoughts as a first time player. Now after playing it over and over for many years, I realized I was a fool. First of all, beating the absolute shit out of Dark Gaia's minions feels incredible, and you're telling me that grabbing an enemy and slamming them into the pavement like a WWE finisher isn't the coolest thing ever? Because I definitely needed to after those tornado missions. Also, let's talk about his battle theme music. Listen, if you can't vibe with the cool sweet jazz level themes and then immediately headbang to I don't know what to tell you. But if you're one of those people who say, but the Werehog levels are too long, you're just wrong. Because if you actually play the Werehog levels the way they were meant to be played, learning the combos, chaining movements, using the environment, you realize that these levels are immaculate. Now, if you think a game that features Sonic turning into would have the worst Sonic plot of all time, you would actually be wrong. It's actually really good. Eggman finally wins for once, and his victory speech is so good that it almost makes you want to root for him. He blows up the earth, splits it into pieces, and releases Dark Gaia, an evil god that looks like if Lovecraft designed a Pokemon. Sonic, now cursed with Werehogitis, teams up with a tiny flying amnesiac marshmallow named Chip, who spends most of the game being the most aggressively marketable sidekick imaginable, while also having an addiction to chocolate. Someone get this man an ambulance. Just to wrap it up, Sonic Unleashed, I think, is the most Sonic Team game ever. It is a game that revolutionized Sonic's gameplay while also doing Critics, they hated it. Said it was too inconsistent, too frustrating, too bloated. Fans, they didn't know what to think at the time. But yet, in hindsight, Unleashed has aged like fine wine. Modern fans love this game, especially with the new Unleashed recompiled that natively ports this game to PC, because Sonic Team would never have the balls to do it themselves. The Werehog, yeah, it may be a pain in the first run through, but you certainly can get over it over time and have some good fun with it. if you play it right. But the game's ambitions, visuals, music, and sheer spectacle have earned it a well-deserved redemption arc in the eyes of many people. This game, to me, is Sonic in a nutshell. Brilliant, frustrating, breathtaking, all at the same time, as you can clearly see. It's extremely weird, but also a masterpiece, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love Unleashed and will always have a place for it in my heart. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Sonic, stop that, that isn't healthy.